Another big EVM meltdown. Fake news plus Musk equals EVM Quake. A news report, an alleged OTP, and a big EVM row. Maharashtra EVM controversy snowballs. Our top focus on 5 Live.
EVMs back in the headlines. Elon Musk has also dived into it. I'm going to decode it all for you. Right after the elections, we're still talking about EVMs, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm Shiv. This is 5 Live. Here are the headlines. 8 dead in Bengal train tragedy, including 3 staff. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav reaches the accident site. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata blames central government for negligence. Chilling details of the Kannada film industry murder case. Victim Renuka Swamy was given electric shocks and tortured before his death. Supporting actor and comedian Chikkanna's link emerges. The Darshan heat is intensifying. Karnataka fuel hike showdown. Siddaramaiah Sarkara once again under fire over fuel price hike. BJP hits the streets, demands rollback of sale tax hike. NCERT Class 12 political science book sparks a row, refers to Babri Masjid as 3-domed structure. Congress hits out, calls NCERT an RSS affiliate. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs a high-level meeting to review security situation in Manipur. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey and top Manipur officials all attend. Just when you thought the war over electronic voting machines was over, at least for now, back it comes, fueled by those two most unavoidable realities of our times: fake news and Elon Musk. We'll deal with the fake news or misleading news in a moment, but first let's deal with Mr. Musk. For those of you late to the game, Elon Musk has triggered a mini earthquake over the weekend on Twitter after posting that electronic voting machines should be eliminated because the risk of them being hacked by humans or AI, while small, is still too high. He was speaking not in the context of India, but about election irregularities in Puerto Rico. But this was Elon Musk joining the Indian opposition's favorite pastime, bashing EVMs. So how could they possibly ignore him? It didn't matter, of course, that all the conspiracy theories about EVMs that dominated the opposition's clarion call warnings before the results evaporated suddenly overnight when the numbers came in, and it was clear that the BJP had been cut to size, humbled, chastened, and that the opposition had done way better than even they perhaps expected. Well, amidst the celebrations, it's almost like the opposition forgot all about poor EVMs and all the scorn that they had been pouring on them. So for a good fortnight, the centerpiece of India's voting exercise, the electronic voting machine or EVM, silently dropped off the discourse, gently relegated to the pre-election noise and rhetoric. But then Elon Musk happened, and the opposition, which has thus far been suspicious of Elon Musk, who they see as a self-obsessed, unpredictable capitalist man-child, is now practically doing anga pradarshanams to his tweets, calling for the elimination of EVMs. A political class that has had an unabashed distaste for all things Musk is suddenly bowing to his tech wisdom, treating his view on EVMs as the last word of an unignorable tech bro. They're busy quoting his tweet to save face, because after all, even if you don't like Musk, how to ignore what he's saying when it's exactly what you've been saying before the election results? Of course, viewer, someone could hit back and say, well, maybe EVMs are only partially hacked, and if they weren't, then the BJP would have done worse and the opposition would have done better. Hai na? But then anyone who says this must also know that the Election Commission has repeatedly over the years thrown open its doors to anyone, yes, anyone, to come and have a hand at hacking or tampering with EVMs. Not a single time so far has anyone succeeded. These hackathons have been conducted by the Election Commission, that other sumptuously derided entity whose character and integrity has for months been put through a shredder by the opposition, justifiably so, only to blossom into a grudging romance post the results. But if anyone had any doubts about the Election Commission, these hackathons have actually been conducted under the watchful eyes of the Supreme Court, not by the Election Commission itself. But then this is Elon Musk. He's above all these silly institutions and their claims, right? And that's why when a former minister challenged Musk's claims online about how hackable EVMs are, Elon just scoffed back, anything can be hacked. Apart from this flood of clapbacks to Elon Musk, including questions over whether he was actually admitting, therefore, that Tesla cars and Starlink internet satellites could be hacked, his claim actually lit another fire, putting the opposition in a bit of a quandary, in a bit of a paradox. On the one hand, it had put EVM bashing on the back burner thanks to the encouraging election results, and yet here was one of the richest men practically handing them their biggest pre-election claim on a titanium-plated platter. Even poor exiled Sam Pitroda, who was unceremoniously ejected from the Overseas Congress before the elections, felt emboldened enough to step back into the ring and revive a clarion call he claims he's been making since the 90s about EVMs being full of hackable holes. But Elon Musk was only one part of this EVM tamasha. The other was a screaming news headline in a Mumbai afternoon newspaper claiming that a relative of a Shinde Sena MP from Mumbai, who had won by just 48 votes, had used his mobile phone to unlock an EVM. Look at the headline. I'm not making it up. Even I posted about it, deleting it shortly after, realizing there was something seriously wrong with what this article had claimed. Either way, the story just exploded. It was picked up and amplified by every opposition leader, thunderingly angry, demanding answers. Every party picked it up. It was fanned to a frenzy by luminaries and influencers aplenty, only for the story to crash and burn a day later. The story not only had nothing to do with EVMs, but there's no proof of the dramatic claims that were made, and the newspaper had to issue a tiny apology that would be missed if you weren't looking for it. But the Election Commission is furious by what it sees as weaponized fake news to discredit the voting process. Now, let me be very clear about one thing. EVMs and the Election Commission are not beyond question. They are not God. They must be questioned and they must be bulletproof. That's what democracy is all about. The unauthorized use of a mobile phone at a voting center by the relative of a Shinde Sena MP and anything more must be investigated without mercy. But what does one say about a story that became the centerpiece of a 48-hour political news whirl that called into question the electronic voting machine only to crash and burn and be retracted embarrassingly just 24 hours later? But since Elon Musk is in the house, I have an idea. And let me end with that idea, viewer, because we believe in constructive solutions. When Elon Musk announces dates for his long-anticipated India visit, the Election Commission should invite him and his team to have a go at the humble Indian EVM. If the Election Commission is confident enough to conduct a no-holds-barred hackathon, then surely EVMs can withstand a little Elon.
Elections are over, but the war over EVMs is not. It was this news report published by a Mumbai daily that set the cat among pigeons.
The report claimed that a relative of Shiv Sena candidate Ravindra Vaikar, who won the Mumbai Lok Sabha seat by just 48 votes, used a mobile phone to generate an OTP that unlocked the EVM. The publication now says that the mobile phone was not used to unlock the EVM and has regretted the error. Mumbai poll officer has also categorically refused EVM hacking claims, clarifying that EVMs have no wireless communication capabilities and that there is no possibility of manipulation.
PBMS और एक ऑनकोर इसके लिए ओटीपी की ज़रूरत होती है. दोनों सिस्टम क्या और इसको किस तरीके से ओटीपी से ज़रूरत होती है?
ETPBS में हम स्कैन करते हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ट्रांसमिटेड जो ये होता है, और एनकोर जो है उसके लिए ओटीपी लगता है. पर एनकोर ये डाटा एंट्री ऑपरेशन है, डाटा एंट्री का सिस्टम है ECI का. उसका EVM के काउंटिंग प्रोसीजर से दूर दूर तक कोई ताल्लुकात नहीं है.
It has now emerged that ECI staff Dinesh Gaurav gave his phone to Mangesh Padilkar, Shiv Sena MP, Vaikar's brother-in-law. The phone, which is meant for data entry purposes, was used by Pandelkar for making and receiving calls. But politics over the EVM hack claim is only escalating.
आम्ही सांगितलं होतं की EC म्हणजे इलेक्शन कमिशन नसून एंटायरली कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड. आज जी जगभरात आणि देशभरात चर्चा सुरू आहे, मला वाटतं आमच्यासारखे अनेक अशा वेगळ्या वेगळ्या सीट्स असतील देशभरात जिथे ही चर्चा होऊ शकते. पण हा जो भाजपाने विजय क्लेम केलेला आहे तो देखील 303 वरनं 240 वर आलेला आहे. काल पण मी सांगितलं की ही यंत्रणा जर त्यांच्या हातात नसते आणि खरोखर फ्री अँड फेअर इलेक्शन झाले असते तर 240 काय 40 देखील जागा भाजपाच्या या देशात आल्या नसत्या.
एक खोटा जे काही दिशाभूल करण्याचा जे काही प्रयत्न चालू आहे, तुमच्या एवढ्या जागा जिंकल्या तुम्ही, तेव्हा ईव्हीएम वर संशय घेतला नाही. फक्त रवींद्र वायकर यांच्या ईव्हीएम वर संशय घेता. वाटता 42% स्ट्राईक रेट आहे. आमचा शिवसेनेचा 48% आहे. त्यामुळे त्यांच्या पायाखालची वाळू सरकली आहे, म्हणून अशा प्रकारचे आरोप प्रत्यारोप करतात.
आरओ थी, उनका मोबाइल था, वो मोबाइल लेके बाहर जाते थे और स्टार्टिंग में 650 का लीड ये उद्धव ठाकरे साहब के पक्ष को मिला, बाद में वो कम हुआ. तो ये जो चीजें है उसके कारण कंफ्यूजन बढ़ जाता है. कंफ्यूजन बढ़ जाता है तो लोगों का लोकशाही या जो डेमोक्रेसी है उस पर से विश्वास निकल जाता है. तो इलेक्शन कमीशन और सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है कि ये विश्वास न उठ जाए. अगर कंफ्यूजन हो तो क्लियर हो जाए.
कोई ईवीएम हैक नहीं हुआ था और कोई ईवीएम को अनलॉक करने के लिए मोबाइल का इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ था. तो जिस तरीके से उस अखबार ने आज माफी मांगी है, बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से हमारी मांग है कि राहुल गांधी भी माफी मांगे. उन्होंने देश में जो चुनाव की प्रक्रिया चलती है, प्रतिष्ठित प्रक्रिया है, उस प्रक्रिया को बदनाम किया.
Meanwhile, an FIR has been filed against both the ECI official and the Shinde Sena MP, Vaikar's brother-in-law, who carried the phone. Bureau Report, India Today.
So here's what we now know happened. This is before an investigation has been conducted as far as the unauthorized use of a phone at a voting center is concerned. Now, the Election Commission staff at the voting center, a person named Dinesh Gaurav, allegedly gave a phone to a person called Mangesh Pandilkar. Mangesh is Shiv Sena MP and candidate Ravindra Vaikar's brother-in-law. He was there at that voting center and he had his phone with him, which is prima facie unauthorized. He's not allowed to do that. The phone was used only for data compilation as far as the Election Commission is concerned. The phone was used by the MP's kin to make and receive calls, which is not permitted. Now, the reason why this has become a huge headline is because a newspaper in Mumbai claimed that an OTP system on this mobile phone was used to unlock EVMs. The newspaper has retracted and apologized for that story, saying that it was incorrect and false. But what really happened? Let's go and try and understand from our Mumbai bureau what may have happened. Joining me live, Ritvik Bhalekar and Sahil Joshi, who I'll start with. Sahil, what happened? What really happened? You know, the headlines screamed OTPs, EVMs, etc. But the investigation will need to go into the use of the phone. What was that phone used for? Who was this man? Why was he there? Etc. What are you hearing?
Well, Shiv, let me repeat what we have been talking since yesterday on India Today. You know, first of all, we did not come up with a story that EVM can be unlocked using the mobile phone, which was there, found to be in the hands of brother-in-law of Ravindra Vaikar, who won the Mumbai Northwest seat by 48 votes.
Yeah.
The issue here is the violation of the code of conduct.
Yeah.
And that is what is the complaint filed by the Election Commission to the Mumbai Police. And Mumbai Police duly registered an FIR on Friday, after 4 days of the counting. So now, the newspaper, the Midday, made this headline, and now they have apologized in the newspaper, saying that their particular story was wrong. And obviously, the Shiv Sena and the Mahayuti is harping on that how they came up with a wrong story. Of course, Rahul Gandhi also tweeted about how the EVM is being malfunctioned or manipulated for a certain victory and all that stuff. But the basic story lies here is that how could a mobile which was supposed to be the ECI property, which is used for the OTP of the system, which can upload the numbers on the Election Commission website. The FIR also mentions, the complaint copy also mentions that this particular mobile can be used to scan the EPBMS system, the Postal Ballot Management System, through which the returning officer can open that postal ballot system so that those votes can be counted. Now just imagine this particular contest, which was won by only 48 votes. So even 100 votes casted on through the postal ballot becomes very important.
Correct.
And in this
Game
scenario,
changer.
the mobile phone, which actually was supposed to be in the hands of the assistant returning officer, he handed over the mobile phone to Dinesh Gurav, a technical man working for the system to upload the numbers on the Election Commission website.
Yes.
How could that phone landed in the hands of Dinesh Gurav? And Dinesh Gurav, duly handed it over to the brother-in-law of Ravindra Vaikar.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, the complaint was not filed by Election Commission in the first place. This was noticed by an independent candidate called Bharat Shah, who was present at the counting center. He brought it to the notice of the returning officer. He filed a written complaint to the Election Commission, the returning officer. And after that, after 4 days, the Election Commission goes to the police station and files a complaint. Now, this whole thing becomes very interesting, that how could this happen?
Correct.
Now, somewhere, someone has to give the answer. Let me remind our viewers, yesterday, while doing a show, I came up with this this example of Indira Gandhi. The former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's election was, by the Allahabad High Court, was found declared null and void because Yashpal Kapoor, one of the government servants, was working for as a campaigner for Indira Gandhi, and his backdated resignation was not accepted by the High Court. Now here, if the Election Commission found that their own people was handing over the mobile phone, which was completely banned in the counting center, that will be a completely different scenario altogether.
Absolutely.
So on one side, raising questions on the EVM, misguided people, and on the other side, the Election Commission man giving his mobile phone to a candidate who won by 48 votes also creates a lot of suspicion. So this story is becoming interesting. Now we will have to wait and see what actually the Mumbai police goes forward and do in this particular case, because they have asked the returning officer to give his opinion about what should be the next course of action.
Very interesting. So a violation has most certainly happened on the face of it. The question now is, what was this relationship? What was this phone used for? Why was this person using that phone? Ritvik, what are the police saying? The headline in Midday aside, the fact that this brother-in-law of Ravindra Vaikar had that phone with him, how is the Shinde Sena or how is Ravindra Vaikar's team, how are they justifying this piece of information?
See, the very report which newspaper come out with is objectionable, and they are objecting to the fact that no one can at any cost or in any way manipulate EVM by using mobile phones. That's the first thing they are coming up with. Secondly, is what they are saying is if the relative of Ravindra Vaikar was carrying mobile, FIR has been already registered against him, and also the ECI officials who were involved and who were present at that moment on the counting centers.
Right.
So basically, the police has done their job, the FIR has been registered, and the investigations are also being carried on. But the kind of narratives or the kind of things which are being said by the opposition are completely misleading, is what Eknath Shinde, Chief Minister, as well as the party people from the ruling side is saying. And they are objecting to the fact that the fake narratives are being built up just on the upcoming Vidhan Sabha elections.
Very interesting. And like Sahil said, with a margin of victory of just 48 votes, and the possibility of things swinging either way depending on the nature of the violation, and investigation is absolutely crucial to see what happened in the Mumbai Northwest constituency in this particular counting centre. Ritwik and Sahil, thank you very much for throwing light on this important story that India Today has put the spotlight on. Now remember, the whole question of EVMs making it into the headlines is thanks largely to this guy. Over the weekend, billionaire tech magnate Elon Musk dived straight into the EVM controversy, and it had nothing to do with India, but it's become an India story. Musk, in a tweet, pitched for eliminating EVMs, saying that they are hackable. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. And obviously, it's become the clarion call of the opposition. Take a look.
Billionaire tech magnate Elon Musk has triggered yet another controversy. The Tesla CEO has questioned the credibility of EVMs. Musk on social media pitched for eliminating electronic voting machines and also raised concerns about its usage in the voting process. Musk said any machine can be hacked. His remarks in reaction to polls in Puerto Rico came at a time that opposition is questioning the vulnerability of EVMs. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who served as Minister of State for the IT Ministry in Modi Cabinet 2.0, was quick to counter Elon Musk's claim. Rajiv Chandrasekhar said that Indian EVMs cannot be hacked.
US and the Western world use connected devices. They are using traditional compute platforms that are connected to the internet as EVMs. And I pointed out that the Indian EVM is architected and designed to be safe and secure because there is no connectivity. And if there is no connectivity to Wi-Fi or 5G or the internet in general, there is no way to get it.
Hailing Indian EVMs, Rajiv Chandrasekhar also offered to give a tutorial to the SpaceX boss, demonstrating the robustness of EVMs designed in India. This social media discussion has fueled the ongoing war over EVMs between the opposition and BJP. Bureau Report, India Today.
Elections are over, and now governments in states are free to hike the prices of fuel. And first among them is the Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka. But it's defended its move amidst the big fire it has triggered, saying even after a 3 rupee hike in the fuel rates per litre, the fuel price in Karnataka is still less than many other states in the country. The opposition is scoffing at this defense. The BJP staged a big protest stating it would continue till this fuel hike is rolled back.
Politics in Karnataka is boiling over the fuel price hike. The BJP led a bullock cart protest in Bengaluru against the Siddaramaiah Sarkara.
The BJP leaders have taken to a creative way of protesting on the streets of Bengaluru. That's the BJP's leader of opposition, R. Ashok, and we have the entire crew of Bengaluru MLAs from the BJP who have gathered here, coming on a bullock cart. They are stating that the government has deliberately increased the prices of fuel only to fill its empty coffers that was extinguished because of the 5 guarantees that the Congress government has promised.
The BJP is demanding an immediate rollback of the hike in sales tax on petrol and diesel.
ಜನರು ಬದುಕೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ವಿಷಯ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಅಕ್ಷಮ್ಯ ಅಪರಾಧ. ನಾನು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಜನರ ಸಂಕಷ್ಟಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈಗಲಾದರೂ ನೀವು ಏರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ದರವನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಒತ್ತಾಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Siddaramaiah told, we will not raise any petrol, diesel. Before the power, after the election of parliament, they illegally raise the petrol and diesel. This is a non-democratic.
ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಈಗ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಇವಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ದುಡ್ಡಿಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಅದೇ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಜನಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ತೆರಿಗೆ ವಿಧಿಸಿ ಅವರಿಂದ ದುಡ್ಡು ವಸೂಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತಿದೆ.
Under fire, the Karnataka government defended the move, saying that the fuel price in Karnataka are lower compared to other states.
The BJP people, for political reasons, they are making this as an issue. When Narendra Modi ji raised additional excise duty on petrol and diesel, they are keeping quiet.
The increase in sales tax has hiked price of petrol by rupees 3, bringing the rate in Bengaluru up from rupees 99.84 to 102.84 rupees per litre. The price of diesel has increased by rupees 3.02, raising the cost per litre from 85.93 rupees to 88.95 rupees. As politics rages on, the Aam Aadmi is facing the brunt.
I feel it's all government gimmicks for me, right? The moment they came into power, again they have increased the petrol and diesel prices. This is going to continue for lifelong. And we are the sufferers. Ultimately, the civilians are the sufferers.
There's nothing to talk. This will happen regularly if you want all start walking.
Sources say the fuel price hike is aimed at resource mobilization in the state, where the Congress government has promised 5 guarantees and comes days after the Lok Sabha poll results, where the Congress won 9 out of 28 seats. With Anagha Keshav, Bureau Report, India Today.
Sagai Raj is live with me. Sagai, you know, the cycle of politics over fuel price hikes has become the most predictable thing in Indian, election season. Immediately after the elections are over, finally governments are free to hike fuel prices, when the votes have been cast and people really have no choice to express their anger in the ballot. This time, it's a pretty steep hike. And given Siddaramaiah government's, guarantees for the poor and for the common person of Karnataka, this could actually hurt. How are you seeing this play out?
So if you notice, the same Congress, when it was in opposition, they protested against BJP when they had increased the price, and succumbing to the pressure of opposition, the BJP government, the then BJP government, had rolled back that particular price hike on fuel. Even now, the Karnataka government in the state Congress is justifying this particular move, stating that there is a lot of injustice done to Karnataka when it comes to the share of their tax money to the state. And they have also claimed that despite raising 3 rupees, the price of Karnataka seems to be quite lesser than other states compared to Maharashtra, Delhi, and various other states across the state of Karnataka. So they claim that whatever they are trying to do, they are trying to increase this tax money because they have not got enough tax money from the central government.
Right.
And their only sources are petrol and alcohol. So these are the only sources where the state government can go ahead and increase, and subsequently they have done with the fuel. So we need to wait and watch whether there is any kind of a shocker for the alcohol enthusiastic in the days to come.
Very interesting. The cycle of politics over fuel price hikes is one of the most predictable things in the country at this time. Sagai, thanks very much for joining us. We've got some breaking news coming in now. And we've got an update on the rail accident in North Bengal. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has just met with the injured persons in that unfortunate accident in which 8 people have died. Minister Vaishnav said the rescue and restoration operations on that track are currently underway. The Kanchenjunga Express was hit by a goods train. 8 people have died and over 30 people are injured. The minister has also just said that efforts are on to complete restoration and remove the 2 trains by tomorrow, so train traffic can continue. He's also responded to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata's charge. He says this is not the time for politics. So a big response from the minister there on the heat rising and the justified questions that are being asked over safety and negligence with this latest train accident.
सारा फोकस है, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन कंप्लीट हुआ है, अभी रेस्टोरेशन पे पूरा फोकस है। ये मेन लाइन है और किसी भी तरीके से ये पॉलिटिक्स का समय नहीं है। अभी सारा फोकस होना चाहिए रेस्क्यू और रेस्टोरेशन पे। पैसेंजर सेफ्टी के लिए बहुत बड़ा फोकस है, कंप्लीट फोकस है, जैसा आप स्वयं जानते भी हैं। मैं इसके बारे में बाद में डिटेल में चर्चा करूंगा। अभी मैं जरा पहले रेस्क्यू और रेस्टोरेशन ऑपरेशन का पूरा जायजा ले लूं।
We'll be keeping an eye on that story in North Bengal, the latest train accident in the country. But after this very short break, the two big security challenges that face the Modi 3.0 government that it cannot ignore. Both Jammu and Manipur are seeing high-level visits and meetings today by the government. I'm going to tell you more on that after this very short break and why it cannot be ignored.
Motorola Edge 50 Ultra with Moto AI.
At the India Today Media Institute, we believe in training students in independent and critical thinking to improve their ability to analyze the world around them. The training provided at the ITMI is rigorous and multimedia, with a view of producing top-notch media professionals.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The two big security challenges facing the Modi 3.0 government are right before it. They are big, they are challenging, and they cannot be postponed or ignored. One of them is Manipur, which has been burning for more than a year now, with violence once again flaring up in the state in the northeast. And the other is Jammu, not Kashmir, but Jammu, where there have been upwards of 4 terror incidents in quick succession, which started on the day of the swearing in of the new Modi 3.0 government, where a pilgrim bus was attacked by terrorists from across the line of control. Jammu and Manipur cannot be postponed, they cannot be ignored. They present the new government with its two biggest and most urgent security challenges And we're going to get into them one by one and listen to an expert who has experience in both places. After 4 back-to-back cowardly terror attacks in the Jammu sector, Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan arrived in Jammu today to review the security situation and operational preparedness of troops. The CDS arrived at the Nagrota-based White Knight Corps, that's the 16 Corps headquarters, where he reviewed the security scenario and was also briefed by top officers there. Sources say that the CDS, the Chief of Defence Staff, also discussed a strategy to eliminate terrorists who have so far struck in Rajouri, Poonch, Doda, Udhampur and Kathua districts. Now remember, these places are separate from the Kashmir Valley, which is to the north, separated by the Pir Panjal Mountains. Following the abrogation of Article 370, relative peace has returned to Kashmir and the Kashmir Valley, but now there has been a flare-up in violence in the Jammu sector to the south. The Chief of Defence Staff's visit comes a day after the Home Minister Amit Shah reviewed the security situation ahead of the Amarnath Yatra, which begins on the 29th of this month. I want to bring in India Today's man on the ground, Sunil Ji Bhatt, who's been travelling across Jammu to get us a ground situation and a realistic picture of how serious things are. Sunil, Chief of Defence Staff in Jammu today, in Nagrota. He was there to get a full briefing of things. Obviously, the government taking this very, very seriously. They recognize that these serial attacks are not disparate. There is a clear design.
Well, Shiv, the new wave of terrorism in Jammu region has emerged as a big challenge for the security agencies, and that is why this matter is being viewed with all seriousness by the security establishment as well as by the government.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Union Home Minister Amit Shah chaired an important security-related meeting in Delhi. Top security officials, including National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, were present in that meeting, and Union Home Minister gave clear instructions to the security agencies that now the security agencies must work in close coordination to combat terrorism in Jammu region. And today, Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, air dashed to Jammu, and he straight away went to the White Knight Corps headquarters in Nagrota. He was briefed about the current security situation here in Jammu region by top officials of the army, whether it was the White Knight Corps Commander Lieutenant General Naveen Sachdeva or by the Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General M.V. Suchendra Kumar. We have learned from our sources that CDS also visited Northern Command headquarters, and he reviewed the security arrangements, given the fact that Amarnath Yatra is approaching from 29th of this month. Amarnath Yatra is going to begin. It's a 50-day long yatra. So, Shiv, it's a huge challenge for the security agencies. And now, election bugle is also being sounded in Jammu and Kashmir. BJP has announced the names of its election in charge, including they have named G. Kishan Reddy as an election in charge for Jammu and Kashmir. So it shows that Jammu and Kashmir is going to the polls soon. So there are many challenges for the security establishment.
The government has its hands full as far as Jammu is concerned. The country's top military officer in Jammu to get a direct stock of the situation, and we will have more from Jammu. This is a situation, like I said, I keep repeating, cannot be postponed, cannot be ignored. It has to be tackled right now, and that's why it's security challenge number 1 here for the Modi 3.0 government. Sunil, thanks very much. From Jammu, security challenge number 2, which is older and has been going on for longer in the recent months at least, is Manipur. Home Minister Amit Shah is, as we speak, chairing a high-level meeting on the Manipur situation. It started a while ago. Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, the Intelligence Bureau Chief, and all the senior military and security establishment officials are obviously there. Since May 3rd last year, over a year now, Manipur had witnessed clashes between the two major communities, the Kukis and the Meiteis, claiming at least 225 lives. To date, and uprooted around 50,000 citizens, many of whom are still residing in relief centers. In recent weeks, things have flared up once again, forcing hundreds of people from their homes.
Churachandpur ravaged by violence last year. This Manipur town was thrust in the midst of the ethnic showdown as the Kuki-dominated hill district was on fire this time last year. One year on, peace prevails, but the wounds still visible.
अभी एक साल में तो कुछ बदलाव नहीं हुआ है जो स्टूडेंट वगैरह है अभी तक स्कूल जा नहीं पा रहा है अभी बहुत दिक्कत आ रहा है हमारे लिए फिलहाल हमारा युवा लोग है अभी भी बंकर में है सब यहाँ पे 10-15 बंकर खड़ा कर दिया है वहाँ पे बंदूक लेके दिन रात 24 hours बैठा हुआ है
As I am now en route to Churachandpur area, which was the worst affected last year when the violence broke out between the Kukis and Meiteis, right behind me you see is the longest buffer zone of Manipur created by central forces and the central agencies. More than a couple of kilometers, this buffer zone where you have the CRPF, Assam Rifles, Army, they're ensuring the armed miscreants from both the sides and the people from both community shouldn't enter in each other's area.
People from the Kuki community have taken over the security barricades on the roads. Children are now on duty, patrolling at this checkpost on shifts.
ये क्या है? ये रेडियो सेट है तो इससे क्या करता है?
इसे डालना और
मैसेज पास करने के लिए.
We visit the Thoibong area where checkposts are built by the Kuki community along with bunkers in many villages.
When the violence broke out and the people from different communities started attacking each other, the village defense force were formed by both side Meiteis and Kukis, and these Kuki men picked up arms, made bunkers to protect their land, their territory from the counterparts from the other side of the community.
The army remains deployed in some parts of this district where the tension continues to peak.
Kangwai and Bishnupur were the epicenter of the deadly clashes last year. Frequent skirmish, and it was the central forces, central agencies like Assam Rifles, CRPF, Army and other units who could possibly maintain the peace, the law and order situation. Massive buffer zone were drawn.
More than 150 people have died in this town from the Kuki community as a result of the violence last year. A small memorial stands today as a memory of the scars from 2023.
The epicenter of ethnic clashes in 2023, Churachandpur, has changed after 1 year. But what has not changed is the place which was created by the Kuki and Zo community, the wall of remembrance, in the memories of the Kuki members who were victim of the ethnic clashes, who died during the conflict and the violence. They created a wall of remembrance for those who killed during the violence, innocent civilians, policemen, even the armed force personnel. And in their memory, this place still exists.
A year on, locals of Churachandpur are grateful for peace, but the nightmare of the 2023 carnage is still fresh in their minds. With Ashutosh Mishra from Churachandpur in Manipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me live now to discuss these two most crucial and urgent security issues facing the new government is Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, popularly known as General Tiny Dhillon. He's former GOC of the Srinagar Corps, the 15 Corps, someone who has been Chief of the Defense Intelligence Agency and as a soldier and officer operated in all of India's disturbed areas and conflict zones, including the Northeast, including Jammu, including the Kashmir Valley. General Dhillon, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for your time on these issues of very urgent national security. I want to take them one by one. First with Jammu, and then we'll go to Manipur. In Jammu, sir, starting with last year when we've seen periodic attacks in the Rajouri-Poonch axis. This year, starting from the day of the swearing-in, pilgrim buses being attacked, and a variety of other attacks in different parts of the Jammu sector, clearly showing that there is a pattern, there is a deliberate design and an attempt to, elevate the levels of violence in Jammu because of restrictions happening in the Kashmir Valley. What is your assessment of this recent spate of attacks in Jammu, sir?
Thank you, Shiv, and good evening to you and all your viewers. Firstly, talking about Jammu region. Pakistan as a nation is behind creating trouble in Jammu and Kashmir. They found Kashmir to be easy hunting ground for last 3.5 decades. Now that after 5th of August 2019, Kashmir is becoming more and more difficult to operate from the Pakistani point of view. They tried, if you remember, in the last few odd months, lone wolf attacks, killing minority community people, killing the laborers who are non-state, citizens. So, but the best thing about Kashmir was all those killings were handled and the killers or the terrorists were eliminated within a very short span of time. So the shelf life of the terrorists to indulge in such things in Kashmir was very, very limited. Hence, they found Kashmir to be a hard place to operate.
Yes.
So they were showing signs for last more than a year now that they would shift focus towards Jammu. There have been incidents last year. There have been incidents in this year also. And now, in last about 1 week or so, there have been 4 major incidents in Jammu, Doda, and Rajouri, Riasi region. Now, this is a pattern which is well known. Whenever there is a pressure in one place, that is in Kashmir, because of Article 370 abrogation, development coming in, tourists coming in, and the intelligence flow is happening. People do not want terrorism to come back.
Correct.
Now they find it difficult there, so they hit in Jammu. Aim is to keep Jammu and Kashmir in the international news so that people do not forget about it. And more so, their internal constituency, the domestic audience of Pakistan.
Yes.
Because Pakistan internally is so shattered now that they want to divert attention away from internal problems. May it be political, may it be military, may it be corruption, may it be price rise, and may it be other unrest. So, Jammu region, there are 3 things which we have to do.
Yes.
One, and the foremost is whatever gains we have achieved in the past, we should hold on to them and we should not allow them to slip away because of either our complacency or our feeling coming in that now everything is okay, now peace has returned, and now it's okay, we can look elsewhere. Second is, while maintaining the dividends which we have achieved or the gains we have achieved, bring normalcy in the state or in the region. That is by development, by job creation, by education restoration, by allowing the tourists to come in. The local population's income must grow. Once the local population's income grows, he becomes a stakeholder in peace.
Yes.
So if he's earning 2,000 today, when he was earning 500 6 months ago, he would not like to go back.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
third and most important from the security forces and intelligence agencies point of view, the hard operations. When I say hard operations, the hard intelligence, the hard kills, the terrorist self-life to be reduced to nil, that must happen. Then only this game will become expensive for them. If a terrorist can indulge in an act and then live for another 5 years, that means we are not doing a job.
Would it, General Dillon, would it require some harsh measures? Would it require some harsh measures? Over the last week, as we've reported on this and we've spoken to experts, it has become clear that operations in the Kashmir Valley, operations in South Kashmir, operations in Jammu are very, very different and need to be approached differently in terms of terrain, in terms of demographic, in terms of, population density, etc. What are the challenges that the government now faces in Jammu, sir? How do they need to go about it?
More than the government, I think it is the security forces level
security
thing,
forces.
Intelligence level thing. Because to carry out operations in a city, the intelligence can be transferred or transmitted easily. A person from North Delhi can come and meet you in South Delhi and give the intelligence or make a phone call. Whereas in rural areas, as existing in Kashmir Valley and Jammu and other regions, it is very difficult to maintain and re-establish an intelligence network once it cracks.
Correct.
So the continuity of intelligence network is a must in any counter-terrorist, counter-insurgency operations. Unfortunately, what appears to me is that over the years, since there are no operations happening, there are no terrorist activity happening, that intelligence network has taken a hit somewhere. And intelligence network comes from the local sources and the technical intelligence.
But would it?
Now it is very difficult to re-establish those sources which have dried out. And now they might feel even scared because if the terrorists have taken a hit, have carried out a hit, there is a little bit of a scare amongst the sources, especially human sources. So we have to make sure and operations can only be successful if intelligence is good.
Yes, yes.
And it all boils down to synergy between the various forces, various intelligence agencies, and most importantly, the local administration and Awam. So that is where we have to work more. Any amount of additional forces, any amount of additional efforts will not pay dividends unless the hard, real, actionable intelligence is flowing.
So it will have to...
So that is very important. We should never let the intelligence pipeline dry out.
So what is the solution for that, General?
Name of the game.
What is the solution for that? If you're saying that, more deployments is not necessarily the answer, not allowing this to actually grow is the urgent need of the day. How will the security forces do that? Is there an intelligence imbalance as far as Jammu is concerned vis-a-vis Kashmir?
I will not call it imbalance. What I'll call it in Kashmir, because operations are still continuing. Contacts are still happening.
Correct.
Terrorist activity here and there is still happening. So the machinery is well-oiled. The coordination amongst the agencies and the intelligence is very good, including the civil atom. And Awam is cooperating because progress is happening, development is happening.
Yes.
So there, because of the continuity of operations, the intelligence network is continuing. What's happened, unfortunately, in Jammu region is because the operations had died down, the intelligence network also probably has taken a hit somewhere.
Right.
I'm not saying it is out and away.
No, that's an important
point. It is
point.
very much existing. We only need to refresh it.
Okay.
And once the intelligence network gets refreshed, the operations will keep happening. And why I'm saying is increase in forces is not the answer, because the terrorism is still at a very, very low ebb.
Correct.
Number of incidents are very low.
Yeah.
By increasing the footprint of security forces, it has its allied problems.
Okay. So
we need to carry out the surgical intelligence-based small team operations.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we are not in a situation of 90s where we have 2,000 terrorists roaming around.
Right.
There are a very handful of them.
Yeah.
And if the intelligence is good, small teams can do the work for us.
Okay,
that is how it
That is actually very heartening to hear. And, hopefully the meetings that have taken place at the Home Minister level yesterday, the CDS level today, and onwards, as a new army chief coming into office as well, all of those decisions will be taken onward. Now, General Dhillon, from Jammu, I'd like to discuss Manipur. This is another place that you're familiar with. You've also operated there. Manipur has been going on for more than a year. May the 3rd last year is when, violence started there. It is a much more tricky affair. This is not a textbook security situation. It is an inter-community violence that is taking place, stemming from, a civilian issue. Obviously, all the security forces have gotten sucked into what has become a very, very difficult and messy kind of affair in Manipur. How do you see this playing out, sir? This is something that can also no longer be postponed. It has to be handled.
Shiv, for the benefit of the viewers, those of them, because Manipur and Northeast, most of people may not have the correct information or the background. You made a mention of 3rd of May and 1 year. I was a company commander in Churachandpur districts in 1998. And that is when Kuki and Naga, these clashes had happened.
Yes.
And when I moved into with my company in Churachandpur district, southern Churachandpur, there are 52 villages in my area of responsibility, and 50 of them had been burned down when my company moved in to restore normalcy. So what's happening in Manipur is not new, and it is old issue. Inter-tribal rivalry, inter-tribal clashes, earlier it was Kuki Naga, now it is Kuki Maite, is there in Manipur ever since, because tribal loyalties are very, very strong.
Yes.
And over the years, all tribes have weaponized themselves. When I say weaponize themselves, they all have a small little insurgent group which supports their cause or which fights for them. All the villages in Manipur, more or less in these areas, which you referred to in your report also, Churachandpur, Baigama and all of them have a village defense forces. they all have either the weapons, proper weapons, or something called pumpy guns. The tubal wali pipe ke beech mein crude explosives, and they will just let go if they feel someone is trying to attack the village. So there is a lot of violence there. There are a lot of weapons there which have been infiltrated.
Right.
And in addition to that, narcotics is also playing a role. So Manipur is a very complex situation. It has to be handled at war footing. The sentiments of the tribal communities have to be assuaged. They have to be given confidence. The confidence restoration is the most important thing. These tribes have been living together with each other for centuries.
That's right.
That confidence has to be restored, the neighborly confidence, which has been restored in the past also, as and when there were clashes like I referred 1998.
Yes.
So we need to do that. It's more of a political and law and order situation where the NGOs, the ground level workers, the society, the community leaders, they all have to come together along with the officials and the agencies to restore normalcy, to restore confidence.
Yes.
That is the way forward. Military solution is not the way forward for situation in Manipur, unlike in Kashmir and Jammu.
All right.
Because here there are no terrorists. Here there are your own Indian citizens.
Correct.
Who are fighting amongst each other. And you need to restore their confidence level that they can stay peacefully without any harm being done to them or their property.
Absolutely.
Or their livestock.
No, you're absolutely right.
This is the most crucial difference for Manipur vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir.
And
they are our own citizens.
Two vastly different challenges. General Dhillon, you've reminded us that, there are both security challenges in front of the government and the security forces, but they couldn't possibly be more different. One is dealing with terrorism. The other is dealing with your own people in an intercommunal conflict, a civilian strife that has led to an almost civil war-like situation in different parts of Manipur. Hopefully, it will be brought under control. But like you rightly said, the security response in Jammu is not the same kind that can be applied in Manipur. There, it has to be a political, government-led solution to bring the peace. The two big challenges that we've discussed threadbare. I'd like to thank General Dhillon for giving us his wisdom on, a story in motion. I always like describing these as stories in motion because things are changing all the time. Something that men like General Dhillon are familiar with since they're in the military and are always ready for things changing on the fly. So I thank you for your inputs on this story. We'll be bringing you on board again soon as we continue to tackle the big national security issues of the day, General Dhillon. Thank you so much.
Thank you and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Thank you so much. Well, that's a wrap on the show. Thanks so much for watching. Up next, it's 6 p.m. Prime with Akshita. 9 dead in the latest train tragedy to hit the country. This time in Bengal. We'll get you a full ground report on that next.
लगातार एक के बाद एक ऐसे हृदय विदारक हादसों की एक लिस्ट बन गई है। कोरमंडल एक्सप्रेस उसमें थोड़े वक्त पहले ही हुआ था, लेकिन कोई पाठ सीखा हो सरकार ने, विभाग ने, मंत्री ने या मंत्रालय ने, वो देखने को नहीं मिलता। वही गैर जिम्मेदाराना बातें, वही गैर जिम्मेदाराना हरकतें। अब वहां जा रहे हैं मंत्री तो उसकी रील बनाएंगे और उसमें वाहवाही बटोरेंगे। अरे साहब, हम उस पार्टी से हैं जहां के मंत्री इस्तीफा दे देते थे जब रेल दुर्घटना होती थी।
ये तो मानवीय भूल होगी। ये तो पूरा सीधे जिम्मेदार है रेल विभाग, रेल का महकमा। 2 ट्रेनें लड़ गई। इसके पहले उड़ीसा में भी तो यही कुछ हुआ था। यानी कि ये रेल मंत्रालय बढ़े हुए बोझ को संभाल नहीं पा रहा है। रेल मंत्री जी, नैतिकता के नाते इस्तीफा दो।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify.
Politics erupts over Bengal train mishap. Opposition ups ante. Trains guns on Modi government. Opposition ups ante. Trains guns on Modi government.
Time for the governance, not for utterance.
Rail Minister